they have them, and if they don't know about them, they probably don't exist, or the other companies have them, right?
Yeah.
So you got to wonder, what were the Nazis doing? Were they trying to emulate something that they knew existed? And when did governments, if there really is a real phenomenon, if this isn't just total gaslighting and propaganda and bullshit to get you to believe that aliens are out there because they've got like crazy high tech that's 50, 60, 70 years past where we really think it is. Both of those things are hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe that the government would be able to hide the kind of, whatever kind of program that would develop a genuine anti-gravity engine that could move through space and time, that could go through the ocean, that it makes a device transmedium, creates like a portal around it where it exists completely independently of everything that we're experiencing in 3D space. It just goes through stuff. The idea that they have that, they've kept it secret, seems kind of crazy.
I don't think so.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
What I'm saying by that is, like, you hear famous stories of people whose fathers worked at Area 51, and he never once told them what they did there.
Oh yeah, people keep their mouth shut.
People
and they
keep
also
their mouth
know
shut.
that they have to keep their mouth shut, because if you don't, you can get in real trouble. If you have top secret clearance and you go blabbing, they're listening to everything you say. They're checking your emails. They know.
100%.
100%. I think people can keep secrets. I really do.
And they have you looking over here when it's really over here. Mm-hmm. They do that all the time. Like Area 51 is kind of like the shiny object that everyone's, oh, there's crazy. And then it's really the mountain that's like 10 miles away that they've hollowed out.
S4, where Lazar worked.
Or you get into NASA, right? Everyone thinks it's in Houston. The real NASA is in Huntsville, Alabama. So this is a funny story. So Eddie and I are doing stand-up, and we're doing the Tinfoil Hat comedy night. And we do Nashville, we pack it out. Zanies, I think it is. We pack it out, we're great. So they send us to Huntsville. And we go, I'm like, yeah, man, we're going to do stand-up in Alabama. This is going to be great. Let's go. So we drive up, we get to the hotel, we go to the comedy club, and the fucking parking lot is packed. And we're like, dog, we packed this motherfucker. It's going to be great. Well, it's like Sharon Underwood or one of those black female comics is performing there, and it's
Cheryl
all
Underwood?
her crowd. No, it's not her. It's the one who has the daytime talk show. I forget what her name is. No disrespect. She's hilarious. She packed it out, and it's her crowd. So she runs. The show goes late. Surprise. And all of a sudden, her crowd leaves. And our crowd comes in, and it's 45 people. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I just keep looking up to her going, fuck. And he's going, I know we're in trouble because Sam's always positive about it, and you just can't stop yelling fuck. So we do the show, 45 people. It's a great show. We have a good time. We get off stage. The sound guy comes up to me and goes, whoever sent you here set you up to fail, because this is the real NASA. This is where all of the satellites are controlled from. This is where Von Braun went when he came to America. And in Huntsville, Alabama, into the late 80s, you were not allowed to talk about how he was a Nazi, because they had all convinced himself that he was forced to do it against his own will, and even though he was a horrible, horrible person. If you hear the stories about...
He was a real Nazi.
Yeah, but they convinced themselves that he did it against his own will. So that's where so they always have you look over here when everything's going on over here.
Well, that one with Von Braun is undeniable at this point. They hit it in the 1960s because they wanted all those amazing engineers. But they got some evil motherfuckers.
There's a video out there. It's called American Nazi 60 Minutes. Can you look it up? It's basically when 60 Minutes did really good work. And they interview this Boston lawyer who was like, wanted to get down to what was going on. Why are all these Nazis here? Why isn't anyone getting them? And so he's pressing, and he's doing like Freedom of Information Act, and he's pressing them. And one day they got to agree to it. So the CIA says, you can look at these documents, you can't take pictures, and you can't take notes. You can just read it. So he reads it. And he finds out that basically what happened was a Rockefeller, Nixon, and I think it was Eisenhower form a committee, and they're all the ones that bring them over. This little community. Yeah, so you got all these guys.
This is Operation Paperclip?
This is part of it. But I never knew that. I Like, if you're going in hiding, dude, why wouldn't you change your name? None of them changed their names.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't have to.
Right? None of them changed. Yeah, that was
U.S.
it.
agency. So 82 U.S. agency lied to cover up Nazi spy program. Wow. 60 Minutes.
Eisenhower, yep. It was Nixon, Rockefeller, and Eisenhower.
Can you imagine 60 Minutes doing that today? Nope.
Would never happen.
Nope. Government would talk to them. Hey, guys.
Yeah, let's not.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Right?
What spy program? What Nazi? Shut the fuck up.
I agree, dude.
They're American heroes. They got us on the moon. Shut the fuck up.
Nobody ever talked about Martin Bormann, who was like, if you don't know Martin Bormann, you don't know nothing about World War II. Lived peacefully in Argentina, was
Look at
signing
this.
checks.
Carter tried to get him out of there. Look, scroll back up. It says, John Luftus, a former prosecutor with the Justice
That's
Department
him.
official Office of Special Investigations that was set up in 1980 by President Carter to root out Nazi collaborators, made the allegations in an interview with Mike Wallace on the
Yep.
CBS program Sunday.
Yep, I have
Nazi
the video.
collaborators were given jobs in the United States, and some were later sent to the Soviet Union in parachute teams in an unsuccessful attempt to perform assassinations and start civil wars. Yo!
That is crazy!
We were flying Nazis into Russia to start civil wars.
So I had this guy on, I think I talked about last time, about the
God.
dark journalist who does really great work. And he was talking a big reason why JFK was assassinated, that NASA was involved, because JFK wanted to give Russia all these documents and information they had about these UFOs, because he didn't want them to think that they were like nuclear planes, like dropping bombs and stuff. And because NASA was so full of Nazis and they still hated the Russians, they didn't want that to happen.
Well, that might be one reason, but there's
Well,
a lot
one
of
of
reasons
yeah,
why
there's
people wanted to
multiple
kill
reasons.
him. It says that he said the State Department's Office of Policy Coordination is the first covert spy agency set up in the United States, predating the CIA by several months, smuggled several hundred Nazi collaborators into America. Hundreds. After World War II for intelligence purposes. Wow. Barney Frank, Massachusetts, today called out
Big
in the House.
tits.
He's got some big ones.
This is all before we knew about paperclip. They're describing paperclip.
Interesting.
In
Interesting.
1982.
Interesting. Wow.
Paperclip came out in the 90s, right? I don't remember when they.
I don't remember. But it's kind of crazy that they hit it. And then, meanwhile, all these guys working for NASA had these Nazi dueling scars on their face. They look so sinister.
In the video, they interview Nazis who still defended everything they did. It was none of them changed their names. They all just defended what they did, and it was crazy. It's a crazy video to watch.
That's crazy. It's imagine Werner von Braun. They used to hang the 5 slowest Jews in front of the rocket factory.
Yep.
To motivate workers, they'd hang them.
Yep.
That was where his Berlin rocket factory.
Yep.
And that guy was the head of NASA.
Yep. And they convinced themselves he didn't want to do it. And this gets into this whole thing that about what's going to happen in Gaza and it's basically it's all been prophesized, dude. What's going to happen next?
What does it say, Jamie?
The State Department's quote for this is 1982, so this is only 30 years after. It's crazy.
It says we never comment on intelligence matters, and we are not commenting on something that happened in the 1950s.
That'd be like saying we're not commenting on anything that happened in the 90s. Fuck off.
Right? Could you imagine? You imagine? I mean, we're still trying to find out what the fuck happened to JFK. That was 63.
I think there's one person still alive, and that's why they don't want to tell you about it.
Really?
It's
Which
a
guy?
woman. It's a woman.
What'd she do?
I don't know exactly her role in it, but she supposedly is a part of it. And she was like kind of some like.
So when she dies, they'll release the hounds?
They'll release more of it, unless the families don't want. But that's why they're slow rolling this out, because they don't want anyone who's still alive to face any prosecution.
My question was always, though, what could possibly be in there? It's not like we shot him, this is where we stood. You know, Bobby took the first
That's
shot.
my point with the Jeffrey Epstein list is like, what do you think they're going to do? What their name and what they ordered?
Right.
You know, they're never going to have that.
Well, the list is one thing. What she was saying about videos is another thing. That's crazy.
Well, that's the whole point that they believe behind the P. Diddy trial, is that it was really about getting his tapes. And why would they release the names when they could have the names and blackmail everybody on the list and in the videos?
Right.
Why would they give that away? Why would the intelligence agencies do that when they can control these people now?
Right. And if you see one of them in a Pfizer commercial, you know what's up.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, you remember during the height of it, you're like, oh, you did something weird. I like to watch politicians who are pushing all this fucking bullshit, whether it's COVID or BLM or Nazi or Zionism and all this shit. And I go, what weird shit do they got you fucking on video? What weird shit? When Pam Bondi, who was a part of the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing in Florida, and now she's like, yeah, there's videos. There's no video.
What do you mean a part of it in Florida? What was she a part of?
So when the first time he gets arrested, she was part of that whole thing.
She was part of the prosecutors?
She was like some AG or something in Florida.
Was she involved in that case?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
And you're like, what do they got you doing?
Well, there's so many people that would be implicated. That's what's nuts, watching it not play out and watching these powerful people sort of huddle up together and hold the line. It's kind of crazy.
And you got all these pedo hunters, and they're doing great jobs getting these guys off the streets, but they're all low level.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like, oh, we're doing something. No, you're just getting low level guys out. You're not getting when the Me Too movement and they were accusing people of all this, and they're trying to make it seem like these guys are a part of it. No, dude. You know, if you're a 17-year-old going to a comedy concert and then you go home to your parents still, you're not part of that. It's like 80% of the children who go missing are from foster care. Like, people don't understand that. It like involves dark ass shit.
Do you remember there was a story that was in some sort of a television show about a scandal that involved child sex trafficking with politicians? It was like in the 90s or something like that.
There was weird stuff in Different Strokes. They constantly had episodes on that stuff.
The TV show Different Strokes?
Yeah. They had one where like the guy owned a bike store, was giving the kids wine.
What?
Yeah. I just saw that pop up on one of my feeds, my algorithms.
But like, wasn't there was some sort of a story that I can't remember what TV program it was.
Was it the Franklin scandal or the Finder scandal, and where the FBI
conspiracy of silence? DeCamp investigates nationwide child abuse network reaching government officials, exposes systematic exploitation by power
Franklin
figures.
Scandal, which involves Ronald Reagan.
93, that's it.
And George involves Ronald Reagan and involves George Bush Sr.
Imagine if you are a government official and you're also a pedophile and you have to like sniff around to find out if anybody else is a pedophile.
I think
imagine how crazy that is.
I think you get in there because they know that about you. Everything's about data, dude.
So you think they get pedophiles into office knowing that they're pedophiles because they can control those people.
And then they feed them their addiction, and then they control them through that. I mean, I'm convinced that's why Pornhub is free, and they find out who's commenting on these videos and what they're into, and then they can find out, hey, does this guy have any political desires? And then they kind of push him in this direction. There you go.
From the kind of porn you're whacking off to?
100%. That's why it's free, and that's why they're just seeing.
They're just trying to recruit politicians.
You've heard about 100% gay programs. That's what that's all about. Who's in smart ones? Who's the psychopaths? And before they had all that, they were just going on campuses, talking to the professors. Who's a really smart guy? And then that's what they did with the Unabomber. They knew he was a super smart guy, so they put him through all this CIA stuff, and they fractured him.
Well, he was fucked up from the beginning. Do you know his story? Do you ever watch the Netflix documentary? He had a disease when he was a child, so he wasn't touched for
like 7 days or something like that.
A lot longer than that, I think. I think it was a long period of time during like his childhood developmental process. And they said he just like never had any empathy, and he would snap on people. And then they put him in the Harvard LSD studies. And so the studies involved like humiliation, a lot of crazy shit.
But they never deprogrammed him after. It's that famous.
How are you going to deprogram a guy who got broken from childhood because he got left alone when, during a time his mother's supposed to be holding him, he's supposed to have contact with a person.
Yep.
He's a fucking baby, and he's just no one's touching him for like however long time it was. And then you get him involved in these LSD studies. Because his brother said that he would like snap at people and like he would write like horrible letters to ladies if they rejected him. Like he was already fucked up. Mm-hmm. And then they get him in the LSD studies.
Did he end up in Stanford?
Yes.
Yeah. That's got a lot of intelligence agencies
Wasn't it?
around it.
Am I saying that?
If you study the
But I might have just, I don't know why I agreed to that so quickly. I know
you.
he was eventually in Montana alone, right? That's where he was launching the bombs out of and like sending shit through the mail
Right.
and blowing people up. He had like a cabin in Montana. I think it was, why do I think it was Berkeley?
that whole Kavanaugh trial,
Was he from Berkeley? Did he teach at Berkeley?
where he was a student or a teacher's aide. Yeah,
He briefly taught at Berkeley.
in
That's
that
what I
whole
remember.
area.
Yeah. Where all the loonies were.
That whole Kavanaugh trial for Supreme Court was a giant charade to get you to not actually look at his history. That whole, because the woman who accused him worked at the CIA program at Stanford, and they didn't want you to look into that Kavanaugh was a deep state guy. He wrote the Patriot Act. He helped cover up Whitewater. I mean, they didn't want you looking at it, so they made it into a section.
He wrote the Patriot Act?
He helped write the Patriot Act. He doesn't believe in. He believes in warrantless entering houses. He thinks the president's above the law. They didn't want you ever discussing that stuff, so they make it a sex trial that by a woman who has deep connections to the CIA. Her father was in charge of finding funding for black op operations. So she's spook to the core. And she comes out, she says this stuff.
So you think that was a diversion and it wasn't really that she was calling him
100%.
out? It was just to get you to concentrate on that and not for people to focus on...
100%.
Wow. Where'd you read that?
Streets.
The streets?
I'm just telling
Here
you,
to the
Joe.
streets?
I'm telling you this. This is all charade. No one ever discussed his actual background and what he actually was a part of.
Interesting.
Because nobody would want a guy who thinks the president's above the law and the cops shouldn't have warrants to come in your house as a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy did something to me in school. He journaled about it. Who journals? I know one guy that's journaled in my life. My buddy Tony. That's it. Nobody else has ever journaled.
And so it's easily refuted, but it's contentious.
But the Me Too movement's
Everyone's
going.
paying attention to it. Yeah.
All these like female comics in LA are commenting on it.
Boy, that's nuts. That's nuts if that's really what it is. But what a great way to use social media and the whole outrage machine as a tool.
It's a smokescreen.
Because the outrage machine it's so fun to pull the buttons. Like we're
Doing something. Release the Krakens. Release all the bots.
yeah.
Release all that stuff.
People love to get involved too because it makes you feel like you're a part of a movement.
Gives you purpose.
Yeah, it gives you something.
I stumbled across this one day. Remember we found out information about the Epstein people who were on the island, I suppose.
Right.
Do you know how they found this information out?
No.
So they used mobile phone data and did like cross references to find like this person's been here. They don't know who the people are, but they're like, this phone at least has been here, here, and here, so it most likely could be this person, something like that.
Wow.
What's interesting though is about this: the company that did it is owned by a person that was tied to Brett Kavanaugh. He was like in that. I think he was in the college story that this whole hearing was about.
So did you ever hear that how they use phone data with the Kamala Harris arena shows? They were
Yes.
right, and it was
Yeah,
all the same
say it,
people
yeah.
every time. People go, well, how did she blow $1 billion filling arenas?
Yeah. They tried to manufacture a big grassroots movement behind her.
Because they know that's what killed Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders is doing arenas, and Hillary Clinton's putting Sam Tripoli numbers in a cafeteria of like 40 people. So they realized the illusion of that. They like what that shows, that there's nobody following her. So when they run her out, we can't let this happen again. So we have to fill these arenas up, and they did data that was like a Grateful Dead concert. People were just following her around everywhere.
Well, they were professionals. Yeah, I mean, they were making a living doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
And then there's also people that are professional protesters, which is wild. There's guys that have documented people protesting at different places, and he's talked to them about it, like, how much do you get paid? And like people are making a living protesting.
Yeah.
And how is that legal? How is it legal to hire someone to go and annoy people?
I thought it was illegal. You're not allowed to protest something you don't believe in.
Well, it just
You can't just show up and hold a sign.
Maybe they believe in it. They're getting paid and they believe in it. That's what they would say. You can't tell someone they don't believe in something.
Well, some people are dumb and they'll be like, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm just collecting checks and getting a sandwich.
100. There's always going to be people like that.
Yeah, they give away secrets.
There's always going to be like really dull-minded people that grew up in a house with a gas leak, and there's just no saving them.
Yeah, I mean, just common sense isn't that common.
No, but it's not just that. I think some people's brains don't function well. You know?
Yeah.
I just think you're just born with a bad brain. And then you also maybe have environmental factors. Like, what if you're fucking working with certain chemicals every day? You know? How many people are doing that for a living? You know, how many people are working in print shops just like sucking in all them fucking chemical fumes? Ugh. What does that do to your dome? That can't be good.
And who knows what, about what you took in as a child.
Oh, yeah. Leaded gasoline when we were young. That shit was everywhere. We got lead poisoning in the brain for sure. Drops your IQ a little bit. Measurable.
Yeah, I took all the lead.
We talked about that the other day. They fucking knew that lead was going to poison people, and they put it in anyway because they could save money.
Did you ever hear the conspiracy about that?
About what? Leaded gasoline?
About lead?
No.
That it doesn't really cause that, and the reason they wanted to get lead out of paint is because it made it harder for them to see through walls. And that's why all these new houses have glass windows as for walls. They're like, look at your amazing view through this glass window. I was watching like one of those home flipping shows, and they took out a wall and they just put a giant glass there. And the theory is that it's easier to look through that.
Oh.
And now they've discovered that there's these mystery vans driving around that can look right through your walls and watch what you're doing. Is this too much?
How are they looking through your wall? What are they using? I know they can do it with Wi-Fi now.
Yeah,
right?
That's basically what they're doing. They just have this.
Wi-Fi is bananas. The fact that they have technology that allows you to see like 3D images in a room based on how the Wi-Fi is somehow or another like sending it back to them. Like what is Wi-Fi even doing to you? Like what is happening to you if this shit is just around you all the
100%.
time, passing through your cells?
Have you
and
ever
that they can
like
see it on a? I mean, the fact they can see it, like everyone's scared of radar machines, right? Everyone's scared of going through an X-ray, right? You don't want that radar machine. X-ray
the guy
machines.
giving you
they give you
the
a giant
X-ray
lead
is
shield
like
for your dick.
behind a giant wall protecting
They
it.
go fucking hide.
Yeah.
They go hide and they press the button, and we're just cool with Wi-Fi. It's just
It's
low
fast.
level. It's not as bad as an X-ray, but it's this weird low-level signal that they say it fucks up bees, right? Or at least cell phone signals. They
And
say
birds.
that fucks up bees. Really?
Like, I don't know if it's ever happened to you.
Have you seen this week or two?
I did. Yeah, new contact lenses give people infrared vision even with their eyes shut. Sci-fi style technology uses nanoparticles to convert infrared light into visible light that humans can see. Fucking yo.
How about those
Bro,
night
night
vision
vision
goggles
people.
that they had to change the color because they were seeing things that weren't on the radar?
What?
I think it was like red. They were
Like
doing.
aliens?
They were. Yeah.
Really?
They were seeing things flying around them, and they were flipping out because they had red night vision goggles, and that's why they changed it to either green or blue because the red.
things, when in red they show up, they don't show up in other colors?
Yes.
Jamie.
This is too weird, man.
The account of early night vision goggles used in Vietnam War revealing alleged demonic entities. My dad did drugs and made up stories about Vietnam. That's perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
Also, I distracted you from the tridactyls.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you. So Jesse Michaels released a new video. He went down to Peru, and these people have been telling him about these mummies. They're like, you have to see them in person. They are humanoid, but they don't seem to be human. They have a different amount of ribs, but they have like all the cartilage and all the ligaments and all the bones and everything is in place that makes it look like, if you can go to Jesse's show, go to his YouTube channel, because he's got some video footage of the actual like CAT scans, and they're showing you the tissue.
And look at those skulls.
It's bananas. So this is Jesse's take. I'm paraphrasing. I hope I'm not fucking this up, but some of these things are forgeries. Some of these things are just fake stuff. It's just like an art piece that someone created. But he thinks they actually have some of them that appear to be a real creature. And this real creature has 3 toes and 3 fingers, and there's depictions of these in Peru in these ancient like carpets and ancient weaves that are hundreds of years old. I think even 1,000 years old. So some of these they think are 1,700 years old, and some of these are as recent as 400 or 500 years old.
Elongated
But look
skulls.
at this. But look at this tissue, elongated skulls. But like, look at how everything is in. Like, if this is a piece of art from 1,700 years ago, if somebody created this, like, that's nuts, man. That's an amazing piece of work if it's really just art. And if it's not art, well, they've managed to find some kind of creature that might have been another type of human that we didn't know existed. There might be, look, they find out, and Jesse was telling me this on the phone, like, look at, this is the scan of this thing's bone structure. This is the actual thing. Like, how nuts is that, man? If that's fake, that's fucking extraordinary, because it looks like a real creature.
I mean, the amount of detail.
It looks incredibly real. I mean, this is incredibly real. And the head is very different than ours.
Creepy.
Very different than ours, elongated, but also matches up with so many descriptions that people have had with encounters with beings, including the James Fox movie, Moment of Contact, about Varginha, Brazil in the 1990s. They described things that looked exactly like this. Very small, like 3 feet tall, 3 fingers, 3 toes. That's what these things are. Like, they might have been another form of human that we just don't have any evidence for. Well, like, Denisovans they just found recently. I think it was in the last decade, right? And then there's those new people. What is Homo juliens? Is that what it was? December of 2024, they released this paper. We found another type of human. The Flores people, the Hobbit people in Flores, that's like, I think, the 90s. You know,
Florida's
so
interesting, dude.
all of it's interesting. It's like there's a bunch of stuff that we're just now finding out, but we want to be rigid and pretend that we know the entire landscape as far as like what different type of humanoids have existed. But what the fuck is that then? If that really is 1,700 years old, if that's true, or 700 years old, if that really is that, and that's a real being, and then there's more than one, and one of them has a fetus inside of it, they think also has 3 fingers and 3 toes. So they're trying to get better scans on this thing, but it has a fetus inside of it. Like, if that's a hoax, like, what? Like, I want to know. I want to know who carbon dated it. What's the results? Have they done it more than once? Okay, do we know for sure how old it is?
Piece of metal.
Yeah, one of them has like an implant on the back of its head.
Kind of rare metal that's hard to.
Yeah. I can't recommend this episode enough. Alien Mummies Found in Peru, and it's on Jesse Michaels' channel. American Alchemy, great fucking show. And he goes deep. And he actually went to Peru to see these things and get them studied and scanned. And there's biologists that are looking at this that are saying this is a real creature. Whatever this is, we need to do more tests and find out more. And they're very suspicious about the actual location in which the guy said that he found them, because it's basically, these are like grave robbers that find these things, man. Yeah, and they found more than one. But the crazy thing is, show them the ancient art from Peru that shows 3-fingered, 3-toed beings, because they look just like that thing.
100%.
And this ancient art is hundreds of years old, man. Like, look, they all have fucking 3 toes and 3 fingers. This is all in Jesse's episode too. Just go watch that episode if you're interested in
My theory on our reality is every movie you've ever watched in your life all going on at the same time. All of it. All of these movies just kind of tell you what's really going on. And aliens and 3-fingered
like
beings.
Harry and the Hendersons? So
everything.
Bigfoot's real and he's hanging
Bigfoot.
out at the camp?
It's very interesting. I had an interview with a guy named the Paranoid American, and he came on my show, and he was talking about how based on your religious beliefs is what you see. So like if you're atheist, you see aliens. If you're religious, you see angels, and it goes down to cryptids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you only see what you want to see, and it shows up in the form that is acceptable to you.
Right.
And so I think, so when you go Bigfoot, 100%. 100%. One of the craziest stories ever told to me was by a guy I met at a show. And he was telling me he did a show where people would send in their like high weirdness like stories. And he said that a guy was driving through the forest with his girlfriend and dog. And they pull over for a second to piss, and the dog takes off. So he goes and chases him through the woods. And he looks at his dog's looking up. He looks up. There's like what seems to be a giant green screen with something crawling on it. And they're just staring at it. And then the thing stops, notices them there, camouflage stuff. He looks down, his dog has already ran back and abandoned him. And he ran back, and his girlfriend saw him. They're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And that gets into like, kind of like the whole, again, missing 411 is that it's almost like Grand Theft Auto. You ever drive to Vegas in Grand Theft Auto, it has to render itself forever. So the whole theory is that these people go missing because the simulation doesn't want to render for just one person, and that's why they disappear.
That's possible. Let me give you another possibility. Getting lost in the woods is easy. Getting out of the woods is hard. You could easily starve to death trying. You could easily break a leg, get injured, and no one would ever find you.
Isn't that what
The
Canada's
odds of
doing
you-
right now?
No. Well, listen. The odds of you getting found if you die in the deep wilderness are not very high. They might find your clothes, but your body will be scavenged. All kinds of animals will eat you. They'll drag your bones away. There'll be nothing left. If there's bears in the area, there might literally be nothing left. If there's pigs in the area, there'll be nothing left. Nothing. They'll eat your bones. They'll eat everything. There'll be nothing left. So if you're just a person and you go missing and you're in the deep woods, like miles in, you're in a bad place, and they might not ever find you. That's just a fact. There's too much acreage to look over. There's millions of acres of public land that people could just go into, and people go missing, man, and you can't find them.
Have you ever heard
use
of
cadaver
missing
dogs.
411?
Sure. Yeah.
And how they like these people disappear and then they're found totally somewhere else and they can't remember what just happened?
Well, that's the Travis Walton story, bro.
Yeah, that I just
That's
saw
my
that.
boy.
Yeah, that is
Travis.
a crazy story.
Yeah, he was one of the more interesting people that I've talked to that have had experiences, because he, I'd say the same about Bob Lazar. They don't seem like they're lying. They don't seem at all like they're lying. Lazar seemed like he was telling me, this is gonna sound crazy, but here's a story. That's what it seemed like. Like, it did not seem like a guy making up a story. And then you go back and see him talking about it in the 1980s. He's talking about it the same way.
Exact same talking
I'm
point.
inclined, the more time goes on,
Well,
to
that's the
believe
meeting
it.
with Eisenhower where he makes a deal with them, with the aliens, is that they want to be able to do tests and kidnap and all that stuff, but he makes a deal that you can only do it in the forest. You can't do it in the regular places, so that's why people go missing in the forest. Now, obviously, bad things happen and you never hear from them again, but supposedly these people disappear and then they're found a couple days later in a totally different place and they can't remember what just happened.
Well, if I was going to do it, I mean, I had a bit in my act about it. That's what I would do. I wouldn't land on the White House lawn. I'd find some dude cooking meth, just snatch him up, and like go tell somebody. You're not gonna. No one's gonna believe you,
no one's
bitch.
gonna believe you.
Yeah, but that's if you're just looking for biological studies. If you're just doing tests on people, a lot of people have talked about hybridization programs that they're exposed to, like their children. Like they had been multiple times they had visited, and then they were shown like a human alien hybrid that they were told is their child. Wild,
Dude, that is crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Guys are getting fucked by female aliens. Female aliens like hold them down, riding their dick, and like actually having sex with them.
Trannies are from the future.
No, I don't think they're trannies. I think they're aliens. They're just a different kind of whatever the fuck we are. I think we're a combination of whatever some intelligent, advanced species, whatever. Well, the god ultimately for the whole thing, for the whole ball of wax. But I have a feeling, just like we've done weird shit and created poodles, I think someone might have come here and for lack of a better term, monkeyed around
Yeah.
with our genes and added some good shit. You know, and that's in a lot of ancient texts, man. That's in a lot of ancient depictions of how the gods created men.
And that's how Nephilims come. Fallen angels,
Yeah.
the daughters of men.
Yeah. It gets weird. That's
Well-
where it gets weird, because nobody wants to even consider the possibility that we have been genetically engineered. No one wants to consider it because it's kind of crazy. But also, guys, look how different we are than everything else.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of weird.
Yes, and they
kinda
can't
weird.
explain the jump
Yeah.
from monkey to man.
Yeah.
There's no link to that.
Well, there's links. I mean, there are transitionary fossils. Like you can see like Australopithecus, you can see the different ones, but there's a lot of weirdness in there that it doesn't cover. And one of them is the doubling of the human brain size over a period of like between, I think it's somewhere around 1 million or 2 million years. The human brain size doubled. And it just, they're like, what happened? What happened?
I know
Maybe it
you-
was mushrooms. Maybe it was. But also, maybe mushrooms are aliens, and that's real possible. That it's alien life form that like exists on our planet and